Good morning, everyone. How are you today? So I've been absent because I've had a cough and I haven't been able to speak for very long without coughing. I might still cough some today, but I'm going to do my best. I will not be editing this video, and I will be drinking lots of water, but I'm glad you're here. So today is Tough Love Day at the unemployment cage. Now I call it the cage because it's for claimants, attorneys, government workers, and employers. I try to put up content that is good for everyone. As some of you know, I am a licensed attorney in Kentucky. I'm not licensed in any other state. I'm not here to represent you. There is no attorney-client relationship. I am here to help you help yourself. You are responsible for your own decisions. And today is about teaching you how to help yourself. And it goes with the old saying, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, but teach him how to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. So get your rods and reels ready because you're going to learn how to do it yourself in unemployment. I'm going to show you how to be self-reliant so that you can fight for your own benefits. So if you have watched my prior videos, I hope it has become apparent to you that I have a servant's heart and I want you to succeed in getting your benefits. I have honestly donated at least 40 hours a week for at least the last 4 months, if not the last 8 months, trying to help people help themselves. Even in the middle of the night. I can be on Facebook, wherever, my cell phone, wherever, answering people's questions day and night, all the time. And honestly, if I get 500 messages in my inbox and I answer them all, 400 of those people will respond back with another question. I answer them all, 300 will respond back with another question. It is really an unending process. So if I have not answered you, that's why. There's only me, and I'm answering you as fast as I can, okay? But I appreciate your questions, and I do want to help you. I've received no compensation whatsoever for helping people with their unemployment the last few months, and I'm simply doing this to help in a time of need in the biggest crisis that I have seen our country face in my lifetime. I also can make mistakes, and although I'm not aware of any that I have made on this channel or on Facebook, I can make mistakes. But I'm simply trying to help you. I accept no responsibility for whether or not you act or fail to act based on my advice because, again, you have to be self-reliant and seek out the authority for your actions on your own. And now, even though I have a lot of love for you all and I want you to succeed, I also have boundaries. So first, I will not argue with people who cannot provide documented legal authority for any contradiction to what I say. And second, I will not help anyone who's not willing to help himself or herself. So it became apparent to me after doing many videos that some people would just post their question below, even though it's specifically addressed in the video, in black and white, could have been on the screen, and I will help you if you will help yourself, okay? So also, I'm starting a new job on Monday, January 18th, and I'm not going to have very much time for answering questions or publishing videos. My new job does limit what I'm able to post. So I'm putting this video on here today so that you have a resource for figuring out any issue that you might have with your unemployment claim, except for the state's software programming issues. I cannot help you there. If that is your question, my answer is I don't know. I know nothing about the system programming. I do not know why the claimant portal has incorrect information other than they are updating it. So whether it is what program you are on, your benefit balance, your claim date, whether or not you're under investigation, or any other information on your page that looks incorrect, all I can tell you is that all states have had to update their programming to work with the new legislation, and some work better than others. So for states who spent decades neglecting their unemployment program system, it shows. And when it comes to your claimant portal in the state system, all you can do is take screenshots to prove why you acted or failed to act, show that you're following their advice, and do the best you can until they get it working correctly. Okay? So, water break. As to your actual benefits and the issues that you may have to appeal, know that I spent 13 and a half years reviewing appeals for the state. I have friends there. I respect the hard work that the people there do. I respect the emotional strain that has been placed on these workers the last several months. Sometimes they have to deal with difficult people. And the large majority of them are doing the best that they can, and they have a heart for serving people. It's just that they know what they know, and they don't know what they don't know. The large majority are trying to do their best, okay? But you need to remember, nobody's going to take care of you but you. My mom said that all the time as me and my 5 siblings were growing up. Nobody's going to take care of you but you. You have to learn self-reliance. And when it comes to unemployment, you have to do your own homework. So it's probably why you're here, so that you can learn. So what I'm going to say in this video is not meant to be disparaging or critical of agency staff, but I also don't want you to be intimidated by what anyone at the agency says to you or by any rulings that they make against you. I don't want you to be nervous if you go to a telephonic referee hearing or if you write an appeal letter. I don't want you to be nervous if you have to take your case to circuit court. And if you do your research and do what I say in this video, you're going to feel a whole lot better. You're going to be much more prepared. You're going to be much less nervous, okay? Now, with no disrespect intended, it is still true that sometimes the disputed claims investigators and others in the adjudication branch make mistakes or incorrectly apply the law. When you appeal it to a referee, sometimes the referee, or what might be called lower level authority in your state, will make mistakes or misapply the law. Sometimes a branch manager might make a mistake and give out incorrect advice. Sometimes executive directors don't know near what they should know about unemployment law and make mistakes and give out incorrect advice. Sometimes when you appeal a referee's decision to the commission or the higher authority, they might make mistakes or misapply the law. Even when you appeal it to circuit court or even the Court of Appeals, sometimes judges make errors. Now, if you get to the point that you appeal it to the Supreme Court, then they are right because they have the final say-so, okay? Until then, you argue. That's all attorneys do. They read the law, they look at your facts, apply them to the law, and they argue. You can do this. Now, also remember, I am not political, okay? Other than I've learned not to trust politicians quite as much lately. But with politicians being politicians, Democrats and Republicans alike, sometimes you will find that the heads of your agency were appointed by the governor for political reasons rather than their qualifications or experience. So you obviously have access to the web and you can find out who oversees your agency and who was overseeing your agency when the pandemic turned the entire system on its head. And you can find out what their qualifications and work history are. Some are highly qualified and some are not. Sometimes they make mistakes, and sometimes those mistakes trickle down to the entire agency staff. And sometimes your agency hires attorneys with no former unemployment experience, and they might make mistakes also. And even those of us who are seasoned attorneys in this area can make mistakes, okay? So I say that not to criticize your agency or state government leaders, but to give you perspective and some hope if you're not succeeding in getting your benefits. The law is about making arguments for and against a case based on whatever legal authority you can find and arguing your facts to your advantage. Never assume that the agency is correct and that you are wrong. If you look up the authority, like I'm going to tell you how to do, and you have an argument for why you should be qualified or eligible for benefits, then never give up on your claim. No matter how many appeals it takes you, if you think you are right, and if you have the law and the facts to support it, then you will prevail. So I'm going to give you an example of a case I'm helping a lady with right now. And again, I'm not charging anybody right now. I'm paid through a different method. But as far as helping unemployment claimants, I haven't charged anybody anything. So I'm sharing this with her permission because she was hoping maybe she could help some of you. So I'm not going to name her, but I'm helping a lady in her early 40s who caught COVID, perhaps at work because her coworker had COVID. And she has had lingering detrimental effects for months and is not physically able to work because of what the virus has done to her body. She has the medical evidence to support it, okay? So even though the rules are in black and white and provided to the states by the federal government, she was disqualified from both state unemployment compensation and pandemic unemployment compensation. Now, the finding on state unemployment compensation is correct because you have to be physically able to work. Now, on the federal PUA, if you're not physically able to work because you contracted COVID and because of what it did to your body, you should still be qualified. So you can read this for yourself in black and white. The link to this is in the description below. It's attached. So this is what it says. Attachment 1 to UIPL 16-20 states that where employees have to quit their job as a direct result of COVID-19, a claimant who was diagnosed with COVID-19 by a qualified medical professional, and although the individual no longer has, I'm going to call it C19 so I don't get flagged on YouTube. Although the individual no longer has C19, the illness caused health complications that render the individual objectively unable to perform his or her essential job functions, with or without a reasonable accommodation. So this lady, she does good to take care of herself. She can't go to work. She has the medical evidence to prove it, that her current conditions are caused by COVID, and yet she was disqualified from benefits, and that's just wrong, okay? And again, that's in black and white. That shouldn't be anything subject to dispute, and yet she was disqualified by the agency. And I tell you that because not only if you are in that position and you need to argue for yourself, but if there has been any finding against you, the agency might be wrong, okay? And the evidence in your favor, or the law in your favor, might be in black and white in one of these resources that I'm going to share with you. So now whether your state tells you or not, send in your medical proof or whatever proof applies to your issue. If you're wondering what an appeal letter looks like, I have linked that appeal letter that I did for this lady. I've linked that below in the description section. And you will have to make your appeal letter applicable to your case and your issue. Now, if the best you can do is say, I appeal the determination against me that was mailed on October 26th, then that's all you can do. If you don't feel comfortable arguing anything else, that's all you really have to say. But the more you can argue for yourself, the better your chances are of prevailing, because you can give the decision maker something to look at and they can see that you're right, okay? Now, not all cases are going to be as clear-cut as that lady's case, but some are. And I don't want you to be disheartened if you are disqualified. I want you to be empowered. I want you to be knowledgeable, and I want you to fight for yourself. Do not be intimidated by the agency or what anyone at the agency says. If you equip yourself to fight for your benefits, you might know as much as they know, and perhaps more. Now, you need to understand what program you are on and what rules apply to that program. So look at your claimant portal, see if it tells you what program you are on or what program you were on before they did these system updates, because it could be wrong right now. And read whatever your agency has sent to you to see what program you are on so you know what rules to read, okay? If you are on regular state unemployment, you must read your claimant unemployment handbook. If you are confused, it is likely that you have not read your Claimant Unemployment Handbook, which can also be called the Rights and Responsibilities Pamphlet. When you file for benefits, I know in my state, when you file for benefits, you have to check the box that this pamphlet is provided to you. It shows you a link, and you have to agree it was provided to you before you can finish applying for your benefits. But yeah, most people don't read it. And that's your instruction manual, okay? So if you're wondering why agency representatives are sometimes frustrated when you talk to them, not only are some people just rude and they wear out the person's patience by the time you get to them, but they're also overwhelmed. They have a lot of work to do, and they talk to person after person who has not made the first attempt to understand their benefits by actually reading the handbook. So they are overworked, yet some claimants take up their time because they didn't read what they were supposed to read. So be a help to yourself and to alleviate the strain on the system, and do your part. Read your claimant handbook, your rights and responsibilities pamphlet. Would you purchase a $5,000 piece of equipment and then never read the instruction manual on how to operate it? Would you get frustrated and throw it out the window? That's what some of you are doing with your unemployment claim. Probably not you all, because you're here trying to understand. But I've talked to a lot of people who said, I just gave up, I just quit. You know, thousands and thousands of dollars that they should have been entitled to, and they just quit. And they probably quit because they didn't do their part to understand what was going on. So if you get frustrated and you quit instead of educating yourself, you shouldn't be doing that, okay? If you are on regular state unemployment, or you are getting some kind of benefit extension from your regular state unemployment, you absolutely must go read your claimant handbook. And to make this easy for you, I've already done the work for all of you. If you live in the continental, or if you live in one of the 50 states, I've already done the work for you. Okay? I've made it easy. I've provided a link below for every single state. All you have to do is click on it and read it. So I'm here to help you, help yourself. You have to read it. When it comes to the state unemployment program, the Federal Department of Labor does give guidance, but the states have wide discretion on what laws they apply and how they apply them. That's why you haven't seen me do many videos on regular state unemployment compensation, because it can be a little bit different in each state. Okay, so I've stuck to the federal programs to make them applicable to everyone. But if you want additional information on something that is in your claimant handbook, you can go to the Department of Labor website and search for that topic. I'm going to show you how to do that. If you are on a federal program, such as PUA, PEUC, or DUA, Pandemic Unemployment Assistance, Pandemic Emergency Unemployment Compensation, or Disaster Unemployment Assistance. That's what those stand for. You must absolutely go to the Federal Department of Labor's website and read the Unemployment Insurance Program letters. They're called UIPLs. I'm going to link some of those below. So you can search the UIPLs by topic, whatever topic you are looking for. There's also information about the bonus money programs such as LWA, FPUC, or MEUC. Lost wage assistance, that was the $400. FPUC, that was the $600, and now it's the $300. The MEUC, the Mixed Earners Unemployment Compensation, that's the $100 for a very specific set of people. That's in my videos. I'm not going to go into that here. If you are confused, it's probably because you've not read the rules related to your particular type of unemployment benefit. So just by the fact that you are here on YouTube trying to learn unemployment and how to get your benefits, you are way ahead of the game of others who are simply passive and take no action to protect themselves. However, you must spend your time wisely. There are people on YouTube who have no idea what they're doing. They have no idea what they're talking about. They might just be regurgitating something they read on the news. And if you're in one of the Facebook groups, you undoubtedly have seen that there are people on there who do not know what they're talking about. Not to be rude, but they don't. Most of their hearts are in the right place, I think. They're trying to help you, but you need to be self-reliant. You need to know the rules. You need to look at the laws so that you know whose advice to trust. If you are confused by all the drama on Facebook, it's because you have not read your handbook or the UIPLs relevant to your claim. And just like you would not depend on the advice of someone at a drive-through window when you're getting your food for lunch, you would not depend on their advice on your unemployment claim. You should not be following the advice of people who have not established their education, experience, training, or knowledge of unemployment law. Simply knowing someone at the agency is not sufficient. As we have discussed, even the people in charge of the agency make mistakes. You must go to the law. Go to your handbook, go to the UIPLs, go to the CARES Act, go to the Continuing Assistance Act. I'll link those below. Okay? It's there for you to read. You have to read it. Okay? And too many people who work for the agency have not read what I'm going to tell you to read. So sometimes the advice you get from people you speak with at the agency or people who are relaying to you what they were told by someone who works at the agency, sometimes it will be correct and sometimes it will not. You have to be self-reliant. You have to understand the difference. If for some reason you can't do this for yourself, then you need to consult with an attorney on how to proceed with your case. Or at a minimum, you should have read enough between the handbook and the UIPLs to be able to tell who is giving you the most informed advice. If people have not read it, it will become obvious to you very quickly that they have not read it and they don't know what they're talking about. So in the description below, you will see where I have linked the page to the Federal Department of Labor Unemployment Insurance Program letter page. If you go to this page, you enter the search term you need, such as PUA or FPUC, and you read everything there. Print it off if you can, highlight it, take notes, and keep reading until it sinks in. However many times it takes you, keep reading it. You were going to spend that time on Facebook anyway, so read the actual information instead, okay? After you have prepared yourself, if you speak to someone at the agency and they give you advice contrary to what you have read, tell them what they said does not match what is in the Federal Department of Labor's guidance under Unemployment Insurance Program Letter 1620 or 9-21 or whatever the program letter it may be that you're talking about. Have it there in front of you when you call. Ask them to explain to you why their advice is different and ask to speak with their supervisor if they cannot explain it. If it becomes apparent to you in this conversation that they have not read it, then at least you know how much weight to give the advice that they have given you. I want you to be prepared. I want you to fight for your benefits. I want you to never give up if you believe that you are right or have a good argument as to why you could be right. I want you to know what facts are relevant when you argue and what facts are not. So look in the description below. First thing you need to do is read your state unemployment handbook. Just click on the link for your state and read it, and that will enlighten you a lot. Next, look at your claimant portal for any information given to you from the state. Figure out what kind of benefit you are on. I want everyone to read the claimant handbook no matter what kind of benefit you are on. Read it, but just know that that applies to regular state unemployment. Some of it might apply to you also. Okay? So then you need to go to the Federal Department of Labor's website, find and read the UIPLs that are relevant to your type of benefit. You may have to read these several times. Make sure you notice when there are different changes to the same rule. So the most important UIPL for you to know is during the pandemic is going to be UIPL 16-20. Then there's UIPL 16-20, change 1. UIPL 16-20, change 2. UIPL 16-20, change 3. UIPL 1620 Change 4 was just published for the public in January 2021. So it has a lot of relevant information that you all have been asking about. Read it, okay? Read it. UIPL 9-21 is wildly important. It's all about these new legislative changes. Read it, okay? Especially read the pages near the end about who must reopen their claim. When people argue with you about who must reopen their claim, show them. Show them, okay? Now that's guidance for the states, but there's other language in the UIPLs that I've talked about that support that that's really going to have to be what the states go by. So I feel like it's good information, okay? Maybe your state hasn't given you information yet. Maybe that's the only information you have. So what can you do? You can make a decision based on the information you have. Document everything. So, okay, I'm going to link those specific pages in the description below. It's a lot of reading, but there are a lot of examples in there. And this is where the state gets their direction. So you're reading the same information that the people in charge of your state agency are reading. You have the same access to information that they do. You have the same access to information that I do. Knowledge is power. You can do this, okay? You can do this yourself. It can be confusing, but you just keep reading until you understand it. Remember, quitters never win and winners never quit. So, okay, lots of love to you all. Sorry I had to be so stern today. I have a big heart, but I am a lawyer. So, I really wish you the best. I hope this helps you use your time more wisely and read things that will help you instead of sitting on hold for 8 hours with your agency or spending the day on Facebook trying to figure out who's giving good information and who is not. After you have done everything you can do, you've done your part, you've helped yourself as much as you can. If you still have a question, you can ask it, and it may be a week or two. I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. So I might be working 70 or 80 hours a week some weeks, and I may not have time to look at any of your comments. I'm sorry. I will do everything I can, but you need to be reliant on yourself, okay? I hope you all have a great weekend, and I hope these videos are helpful to you. Remember, if you want to find one that I've already done that might be applicable to your case, click on my picture right below this video. Click on my picture. That will pull up a new page. The second tab on the top is videos. Click videos, and it should show you every video that I have put on here. Okay, I hope those are helpful to you. Keep in mind, new information comes out all the time, and I'm probably not going to be updating those videos. If they become obsolete, I will delete them. I did just do an update for the PUA video. So there's 2 PUA videos on there about getting your benefits. I'm actually going to go and delete the older one, or at least hide it from the public, and so that you can you can look at the second one that has more information because of the UIPL 16-20 Change 4 that was just published a week or 2 ago. All right, thank you all for watching. Good luck to you, and I'm rooting for you, okay? I want you to succeed. I don't want you to suffer. I want you to get your benefits. That's the whole reason I did this channel. I want you to have the information you need. I want you to get your benefits. Help yourself, all right? Everything you need should be in the links in the description below, and good luck.